Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome back to Becoming Miraculous. Today, I want to start to talk about the more esoteric meanings of the symbolism in alchemy. In my previous videos, I started to scratch the surface on the exoteric, or the visible, aspects of the symbology of alchemy, but today we're going to dive right into some of the esoteric, deeper layers, the hidden meanings of these in different symbolical meanings and representations in alchemy. Today, specifically, I want to address the topic of gender. Now, in alchemy, gender, there's a law of gender in alchemy. It's a hermetic principle. And basically, what it states is that everything that's manifest has both male and female aspects to it. Now, what are the male and female aspects to something? Okay, so we can look at the male aspects in manifestation of the male aspects would be like a structured, logical, reasoning, like black and white paper, like black and white on the paper. Whereas the female aspect is going to be more of an intuitive, nurturing, creative, like a endless potential, where this is the so we got to look at it instead of from these descriptions, but as a polarity from one aspect or one side of the scale to the other. Now, this law of gender can manifest itself, as I stated before, in everything around us we can observe, whether it's in ourselves or outside of ourselves. And in the symbology of alchemy, we see them talk about a wedding or the union of male and female. And in a lot of the alchemists' texts, they did this from a detached perspective, where they state, like, oh, this man and this woman brought into union. And we also see this brother and this sister brought into union. And let's break this down. What these alchemists are trying to portray to you is, because some of the alchemists plain and simply state it, that this is the feminine and male aspects of themselves, and by bringing them into a harmonious accord, into union, that they are able to not be biased to one end of the spectrum or the other in order to find a middle ground, like a balancing act, if you will, but not even a balancing act, because sometimes you have to be more or less to one of the other end of the spectrum according to what you're applying the directed intention towards. So, more or less, that they're exercising both of these different manifestations of gender within themselves and finding a middle ground to where they're not in their regular, let's say, idled state, biased to one side of the spectrum or the other. And if we look at this same principle and this same idea from the perspective of modern day psychology represents this act of the union of the male and female aspects of thought to be hemispherical synchronization. And if you're not familiar with this terminology, basically what it means is that in the study of psychology, they state that one half of the hemisphere of the brain is male and represents these male aspects, as I've stated before, the more structured, rational, this kind of thing. So that's where this mathematical type mind comes from, is the male aspect, where the female is the more intuitive, creative, loving, nurturing, yada yada yada. And by hemispherical synchronization, which is also taught in a few other lines of modern day psychology. But basically, what it is the you're consciously using both genders and both spectrums of the polarities to unify the differing aspects of thought, mind, emotion, and awareness in order to find the middle ground to where you can, go whichever way is required. But by finding that middle ground, you've integrated and exercised both sides of the hemispheres of the brain in order for them to communicate to create the middle ground. So, I hope this helps you understand the symbolism of not only the union in alchemy or the marriage, but also the representation of some alchemists use this same representation as a hermaphrodite. And so I hope this clears that up for you to help you better navigate your search through alchemy to find the truth in what you seek for. And thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you on your path and with your study. Until next time, thanks again for watching. And don't forget to like, share, and follow so you don't miss any of the new and latest updates of esoteric understandings to these mystic and different ancient teachings. Thank you again. Have a great day.